Hello and welcome in. My name is Jack Minnick, and Phoenix, we are in a day of mourning. The day we all feared has come true. Last night in Game 7 at home here in Phoenix, the Suns lost. And not only lost, got killed. And not only got killed, but got killed by the guy we missed out on the draft. Rough series, rough day. But to get into it, I'm going to go over two hard pills that Suns fans, we all need to swallow right now. The first pill is we've been duped. Yes, Suns fans, we are now the fifth NBA franchise to have officially been duped by Chris Paul. And I know you're thinking, Jack, you're crazy. He's one of the league's greatest leaders. He got us to the finals last year. He always wins wherever he goes. Yes, all those things are true. And I am grateful for what he does off the court. I think he is one of the NBA's biggest spokesperson on social issues, on issues within the game, players' rights, all of that stuff. He's done an amazing job with the Players Union. But in terms of winning NBA championships, he has duped 5 franchises into thinking he was going to be the guy to bring them that championship. He hasn't done it at any of his stops. And to be honest, last year's Suns run is the closest he's ever gotten. And we never even got a game away from that championship. And I know you're thinking, oh, but he's a perennial playoff player. He's always good in the playoffs. They've had injuries. It's all excuses. Because the reality is, he or a team he's been playing a part of have lost 2-0 series leads now 4 times in his career. And that's just far too many for a great player. You have to know how to close series out. Just look at his resume. He lost a 2-0 series lead with the Hornets. Oh, okay, the Hornets weren't too good. But then he went to LA and was going to be the guy for the Clippers. They never even got to a conference finals series. One year they were up 3-1 in a series and couldn't close it out. And they were up 19 in the second half of one of the closeout games. They choked that one away. And then he gets to Houston, and maybe you can blame his time in Houston on injuries because they had the 3-2 series lead against Golden State, and he gets hurt, and they lose that year. Okay, we'll blame that one to injuries. Then he goes to Oklahoma City, revives his career in the bubble, loses a first-round series, but nobody expected them to win. It was a 4-5 matchup, so pretty close, but there were no expectations apparently, so that loss was okay. And then he goes to Phoenix, and we have an unexpected finals run last year. And nobody would have blamed him if he had lost first, second, or the conference finals round. But then you get to the finals, you surprise everybody, and what do? You blow another 2-0 series lead. And I can't sit here and say that he isn't one of the greatest point guards of all time. Because it's clear that he is. And I think that's what makes his losing in the playoffs so puzzling. But the reality is, though Chris Paul is a lot of things on the court, one thing he is not is a winner. And I know that is hard to hear. And I know he's done so much for our city and our team and our organization. But if we want to be on top of the NBA, sitting as champions, having Devin Booker lift up the Larry O'Brien trophy, we are going to have to find someone other than Chris Paul. It's the unfortunate reality. I won't sit here and pretend like he was the only reason we lost to the Dallas Mavericks. Who would have thought Cameron Payne would have completely disappeared and forgotten how to play basketball? Who would have thought that Cam Johnson wouldn't remember how to shoot a 3-point shot? Who would have thought that Mikal Bridges got exposed both both defensively and on offense. But the one constant throughout the entire series after Game 2 was, where is Chris Paul? All of the things I just listed, the campaign, Cam Johnson, Mikal, DeAndre, whoever you want to talk about, that all sucks. But we could have won that series, and I argue an NBA championship with those kinds of things being down, if Chris Paul and Devin Booker were at their best. But guess what? Chris Paul wasn't at his best. He wasn't even at his B game or C game. He played like a D or F player all 5 of those remaining games in the Dallas series. The last 5 games, he was a D or F player. And I know Devin Booker also struggled. But part of the reason he struggled is because when Chris Paul plays better, Devin Booker plays better. And of course, we'd all want a world where Devin Booker can do it on his own and do it all himself. But that doesn't exist in the modern day NBA. There's no star who can do it all alone. Except maybe Luka. But we don't need to go there yet. There's nobody who can do it all alone. So Devin Booker needs some help. Chris Paul was supposed to be that help. Chris Paul, even when he wasn't scoring, was supposed to always be a floor general. We were always lost, especially in that Game 7. Chris Paul, even when he wasn't scoring, was supposed to boost everyone up around him. After that Pelican series, everybody around him played worse. And like I said, I know that before Chris Paul got here, we were always in the bottom 3 of the Western Conference. I know. And I know it's so great to just be watching playoff games again. But also, here we are. We now look like a team who's ready and poised to stay in the playoffs for a couple years. So now our new expectation should be to win the damn thing. And I truly, truly don't believe we are going to win it with Chris Paul as the focal point. He's let too many teams down for too many years now. And I do not want, in his 38th year of age, to have to sit here a year from now and be disappointed by the same result we've seen since he started in the league in 2005. 2005, that's when he started. That's how many years he's played. And what does he have to show for it? A single finals appearance. The second hard pill we need to swallow is in the 2018 NBA draft when we, the Phoenix Suns, had the first pick overall. We missed on that pick. Because Luka has now eliminated us from the playoffs, it's clear that he was the guy we needed to pick above DeAndre Ayton. You can make the argument we should have picked Jaren Jackson Jr. over DeAndre Ayton. He looked great this year with the Grizzlies. Can you imagine him with the Suns offense? You could have argued we should have picked Trae Young before DeAndre Ayton. I would love to see Ice Trae play with Devin Booker. But of course, the biggest miss of all is Luka Doncic. And I know you're thinking, especially after this last series, ew, I do not want that guy anywhere near my team. And I'm with you. He's a whiner. He's a baby. He complains about every little thing in the game. However, I want a Suns championship. And it is clear after 3 years, he is a better player than DeAndre Ayton. The ceiling is so much higher, and the floor is also higher. Think about DeAndre Ayton in those last couple games of the series. He was embarrassed. And Dallas went small for most of the series. When Dwight Powell's out there, sure, don't pound it to DeAndre Ayton down low. That's a pretty even matchup. Dwight Powell's a good enough defender. But for half the series, his primary defender was either Kleber or Davis Bertans. And you're telling me you can't attack that in the paint? We should have dominated the points in the paint so much more than we did. And that is because DeAndre Ayton doesn't command the ball. And when he has it, he doesn't know what to do with it still. He's learning. He's getting better each year. And he's still one of the more efficient shooters in the NBA. But when you compare him to Luka Doncic, really even to Trae Young or Jaren Jackson, but for now, we'll just keep it with Luka, we made the wrong decision. All right, Suns fans, that's all I have for you. I know those are two pills that are really hard to swallow, might be better to take as a suppository, but the reality is we have to move on from the team as it's currently constructed because it is clearly not the team poised and ready to win the NBA Finals.